Today, I'm sharing with you the 5 ways I've made praying the rosary a daily habit. I've been praying the rosary daily for 5 years. It's something that I honestly got into very randomly because my twin sister said she was starting to pray the rosary for a month every day, and I just started and I never stopped. It totally changed my life, and I have 2 videos about how praying the rosary changed my life. One about the first year, and then 5 years later, I just recently made a video about how praying the rosary has changed my life. It really has significantly changed my life. I highly recommend you praying the rosary daily. Incredible how much it will change you. It is so subtle, then it's so significant at the same time. What I mean by subtle is that you don't really notice the changes that are happening, and then you look back 6 months, a year, 5 years later, and your whole life is totally different and better, and it's just incredible all the graces you receive from it. So that's why I wanted to make this video, because I went from someone that was a very inconsistent Catholic to now someone that is very devout. Praying the rosary daily is a big part of that, and I want to help others pray the rosary. I think it's such an incredible, powerful tool. My first tip to making the rosary a daily practice is find a part of your day that is like a trigger that you will always pray the rosary. I've actually had different parts of my day in the 5 years that I've been praying the rosary daily be part of that practice. It used to be for me when I was driving, that would be my trigger to pray the rosary. Since 2020 happened, I don't really drive as often. I don't go to work every day. Now I am a new mom. I pray the rosary at night when I feed my son. I also pray the rosary in the morning when I'm getting ready and doing my makeup and like just doing my morning routine. Those are just triggers for me. When I'm doing my nightly feeding with him, it normally takes an hour. So I am praying the rosary while I'm feeding him, and it's something I always remember to do. I'm like, oh, it's our nighttime feeding time. This is my time to pray the rosary. It's just such a peaceful time at night, and it really helps me. My second tip to praying the rosary is it doesn't have to be all at once. You can break it up. If you don't have time in your day to pray a whole rosary when you're driving to work or whenever that trigger is, you can break it up. Another thing I've done in my life is for bed, I have trouble sleeping now, so I'll start a rosary. Normally, I don't make it all the way through the rosary before I'm asleep. But one thing that helped, making sure I'm meditating on the mystery so I remember what mystery I last was praying before I fell asleep, and then I just pick up in the morning where I left off every night before bed, and then once I wake up in the morning, I'll be like, oh yeah, I didn't finish the rosary, and then I'll just pick up wherever that is. It's okay to break it up. It does not have to be perfect. There is so much grace in praying the rosary. You don't have to be a perfectionist about it. You just have to make an effort, and the more you do it, the better you'll get, the more fruitful it will become, and the more reverent you can do it. I used to feel like I had to only pray the rosary while sitting down and only focusing on the rosary, but if I did that, I probably would never get the rosary said, and I think it's more important to say the rosary every day than to have the perfect, like, meditative, holy rosary. Now, obviously, that's the best way to say the rosary, but it's not always realistic, especially in our day and age, and I think it's much better to be praying it on the go than not to be praying it at all. My third tip to praying the rosary every day is to find some kind of a prayer aid to help you do it. When I first started praying the rosary, I just looked up on iTunes. I was driving in the car and I had a long car ride. I remember this day so vividly. I was driving in the car, I had a long car ride. My twin sister said she was praying the rosary. I was like, you know what? I'll pray the rosary. I'm in the car. I have nothing else to do, and I'll be in the car a while. I searched on iTunes for the rosary. That's what I started praying the rosary daily with. St. Ignatius Martyr in Massachusetts. Now I pray along with the Hallow app. Other times I'll pray out loud myself, pray with my hands, but sometimes, especially when you're just getting started, having a prayer aid is really helpful. If I'm on a walk or something like that, or I don't have my hands free, like when I'm feeding my son, it's really hard for me to have my hands free and try to like hold rosary beads. Having the Hallow app play the rosary and pray along with it is significantly easier and like more doable. I don't think I could pray the rosary at night otherwise. That has been my secret to continuing with the rosary. It's 20 minutes or less. I just think it's really important to remind people that it's really not that long of a prayer. I remember when I was a kid thinking, oh, the rosary, it takes so long. I don't want to pray it, all this silly stuff. And It takes no time. I think when I finally realized it took me 15 to 20 minutes to say it each time, I was shaken. That isn't even a whole TV show episode. Almost every activity takes longer than praying the rosary. If you're cleaning up your kitchen or wiping down your countertops, you could be praying the rosary. Even like a decade takes probably 5 minutes or less. I recently wanted to start a family rosary with my husband. I know he has limited time, so we're doing a decade a night every night of the week. So at least every week we complete a rosary. My fifth tip about praying the rosary daily and making it a daily practice is about the meditations. When I first started praying the rosary daily, I was not actually meditating on the mysteries. I know that's not correct, but at the time I just was like, I was feeling very accomplished for just praying the rosary. I remember listening to this talk by Dr. Edward Tree. He was talking about how you don't have to pray the rosary perfectly. You don't have to be the most reverent. Not that you should be irreverent, but that it does not have to be perfect. The grace you receive from praying the rosary will compound, and there will be so many more graces to it. And I feel that way with me from my journey with praying the rosary. Like I used to just pray it to pray it, and now I pray it with so much deep meditation. I get so much from the meditations. Sometimes I meditate on the mysteries of the rosary and I meditate as if I'm there. Or sometimes I meditate on the mystery as if I'm a person in the story. So like it sounds very similar, but it's actually different. During the crucifixion or Jesus carries his cross, I think about myself as if I was Veronica versus me experiencing that. What would it be like to be Veronica and wipe the face of Jesus? That's such a fruitful meditation. I could draw that out for almost the whole sorrowful mysteries. Or I will meditate on what is the message of this mystery. Fulton Sheen, in his autobiography, he talks about how he had an hour of adoration every day. Once he fell asleep in adoration, he left feeling so guilty, and he felt God say to him, could you not be awake with me an hour? Which is from Jesus talking to his disciples when they fell asleep in the Garden of Gethsemane right before he was betrayed. That is one of the sorrowful mysteries of the rosary, the agony in the garden. So I think about, am I giving God an hour of my time every day? What is that mystery trying to teach me? What's a fruit of this mystery? Being present with God. Like to meditate on the mysteries through the eyes of Mary, Blessed Mother, like what it was like to watch her son be betrayed. Okay, I'm gonna cry. When I think about the Blessed Mother, it just really softens my heart. How painful it must have been to see them scourge her son and watch people jeer at him while he was being tortured when he was the most perfect human being in the world. When I was getting married, I used to love meditating on the wedding at Cana. So there's so many different ways you can approach the meditations. I would love to hear how you like to meditate on the rosary. I would love to hear about your rosary intentions and how I can pray for you. I pray for all my viewers and subscribers in my daily rosaries. If you like this video, please like it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please stick around. I would love to have you here.